Well, pick your orchid. They all look great. Look at this one.
Oh, yeah, that looks pretty.
It's nice, huh?
Looks like you sneezed on it, though.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You guys
Didn't hear what I said.
you guys don't have the sensitive plant, do you?
Would he like a treat?
Sure. Let's make him work for it, though.
Oh, you want?
Yeah.
have to
Hey,
sit?
Kato, sit. Hey, sit.
You have a treat if you sit.
Yeah, sit.
There you go.
Well, we started off with Dr. Trolice trying to discover why we couldn't get pregnant, because we've been trying for we tried for 2 years before we decided to go get professional help. And we went to Dr. Trolice, and through some surgeries, and we discovered that I was only born with 1 ovary and 1 fallopian tube also.
Which that's okay, because you really only need 1, but it just makes it that much harder with a blocked fallopian tube to get pregnant. That's really kind of the whole problem. It isn't so much that there's only 1 ovary; it's that there's only the 1 fallopian tube there is blocked. So we went through and we had a procedure, and the Dr. Trolice actually was able to open that fallopian tube, and they have a dye test that they did to make sure that it worked, and it worked. But for some reason, it closed back up, and so then we knew.
Well, before that, we tried doing IUIs, which is basically just injecting his stuff with.
Yeah. Injecting my sperm.
Just basically this, the natural thing, but with just injecting.
Yeah, just putting it in.
Yeah.
Just putting it in, kind of.
And we tried 3 of those, and
they weren't successful.
That didn't work out.
It didn't work out. So then we realized, and through the doctor's, advice, that the best step for us is
IVF.
Is IVF, in vitro fertilization. And so with that comes a lot of hurdles. The cost is a hurdle. The emotional part of it is a huge hurdle, because it's not only do we not have a lot of money, but it's very hard when your family has children. Your siblings all have children, and family gatherings are tougher, because you're kind of singled out. Inadvertently, you're just singled out. So, and mom's like, it'll happen, and your friends are like, it'll happen, and your buddies are like, are you doing it right? And all these things where
which is really nice to hear, at the beginning, but after a while, when people say, oh, just relax, it'll happen.
How many years?
You just want to
How many years has it been?
We've been trying for about 9 years now.
So 9 years later, when somebody says it'll happen, or are you doing it right?
We get the.
I think I'm doing it right. So
it just doesn't.
Yeah. So that's why we don't. That's really why we don't tell a lot of people anymore, especially the last few rounds that we've done IVF. We try to keep it top secret, so that way if it doesn't work out, it's okay, because it's not okay because it didn't work out, but it's okay because the only people who knew that it didn't work out is Pipe and I, and so the sympathy is minimal, because we know we're both going through it. It's both of our problems, and that's okay. We'll try again, and so that's what we're doing right now. We're hoping that with this round of IVF, we're successful at having a baby. So that is the goal. So, do we have to order more of that stuff, Pipey? Are we good?
Yeah, we're running low. I think it's the last one.
Okay.
Here you go.
Okay. Here goes Freddy. Open that up for me. I gotcha.
Just make sure you count.
I will. I'll give you a countdown. On 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Does that hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Almost done. And that's it. Alright. Here you go. Over there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, buddy.
All right, thank
One
you.
down. A lot to go. So my emotions going through the process of IVF, it's very almost like a routine to me actually. I'm okay with it because I know that, you know, Dr. Trolice's team is really, really good, and we fully trust them. And I'm not nervous at all, really. Because we've done it before, it's very what's that word?
Structure.
Structured. Yeah, it's very structured. And so the drawing of blood doesn't bother me because it's very minor. You know?
Okay, well for me it's totally opposite because I'm actually getting the blood drawn. I'm getting poked and prodded and looked at, and it's not private at all. You're just out there, and so I'm always like nervous. You have to wait to get phone calls, and you have to wait based on your blood, see if that's good, and if it's not good, then you have to wait longer, and you're always waiting by the phone. I feel like you have the phone attached to you, and you know that little person on the other line is telling you if it's gonna work or not, or it's just for me it's nerve-wracking for me.
It is a huge emotional roller coaster, and with us doing this two-step process, it turns this emotional roller coaster into a long process. I don't know, how many months is it?
I think it ranges from like 3 months to complete the whole two-step process.
Yeah, so essentially we're on this roller coaster, and it's pass or fail, you know, consistently. Like, so is the blood right? Are the hormones right? Is the uterus, you know,
are the embryos developing how they should
growing?
be?
You know, it's a lot of, you know, is my sperm, you know, okay? You know, like, is it healthy? Did it fertilize her egg? So there's so many hurdles. Like, once you get one done, then you're like on to the next hurdle. Can we pass? Are we pass fail on the eggs? Are we pass fail on how many survived? How many reached the blast?
You check everything off. Did we pass this one? Okay, we can move to the next step.
All the way to where we're at right now.
Alright, so I'll tell you that I think we're only going to use Lupron, and it's just skin and chest.
That's the lower end. I think last time, remember we did 2 shots, like one at night and then one in the morning.
Yeah, and we were doing that. Now we're just doing one in the evening.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay, so maybe tonight.
Okay, great.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Come on out, and we'll. Are you guys going to wait for Dr. Trolice?
I think we're all going to wait for Dr.
Yeah, I
Trolice.
think
Okay. All right.
But I don't know where. Okay.
I'll let them know you're waiting.
Okay.
All right, so how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Like, I'm excited, and everything's looking good. Everything's going really well. The all posts look like they're ready. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited about it. We're hoping that it's a go. So
Yeah.
we'll see what the doctor says.
We're going to check your blood work today, and as long as the blood work and the follicle size all correlate, we're going to give you that hormone injection that causes the follicles to mature, and then about 36 hours after that injection, we're going to do the egg retrieval.
That sounds great.
And the egg retrieval, as you know, is under sedation. We give you a little IV, and the anesthesiologist gives you medicine that you're not completely asleep, but if we yelled fire, you wouldn't care, that type of thing. So we give you that relaxation. It's a twilight type of sleep. The procedure itself takes about 15 minutes. We prepare the vagina with irrigation, saline, and then ultrasound like you just had. And with a needle guide, we place a needle through the back of the vagina into the ovary, and we just vacuum out the eggs. So you know right then how many eggs we have, and then Mohamed, you do your thing.
Yeah, do my thing.
Yep, and then we add the sperm to the eggs a little bit.
Yeah.
And then with ICSI, we talked about taking a single sperm and injecting it into the eggs, and then we allow the embryos to develop.
Excellent. That sounds great.
And we talked about the two-step
Yeah,
as
we're doing
well.
the two-step.
Yeah, any questions about that?
No, well, what is the two-step?
Yeah, a two-step is where we would do the IVF cycle fresh, get the eggs, add the sperm, now we have embryos, and then we're going to allow them to develop to day 5. And then on day 5, we freeze the embryos and then prepare your uterus hormonally with natural hormone to build up the lining in the following month. Now, why do we do that? Because studies have shown in young women, the lining of the uterus just doesn't develop as well to synchronize with the embryo. There may be a problem in the fresh cycle where the implantation is reduced. So an artificial cycle with natural hormone improves outcome.
Excellent. That sounds really good. I like that a lot.
All right, very good, very
We're
good.
super excited about everything. And everything looks great from our end, right?
Well, we're praying for you guys. We're doing everything we can, and we're honored to help you.
Is where we reached the blastocyst stage on 7 of our embryos, right?
Yes.
And so that's great because with 7, if I understood the doctor correctly, that means that there's 7 frozen 100 or more cells per embryo. So that means one embryo has over 100 cells in it, which is really good, I think. And so when they defrost that, is it defrost? Or no, when they thaw.
They only thaw one at a time.
They only thaw
Instead
one at
of
a time.
last time we had 13 frozen, but they were on day 3, so they didn't develop to the blastocyst stage, which is much better to
which has a lot more
implant.
cells. So I think on day 3 you have 6 to 8 cells. I could be wrong, but I think it's 6 to 8 cells. So the embryo has grown to 6 or 8 cells, and once they freeze that, it locks it in place. And so I think that the reason that we froze last time so early was because potentially they weren't going to survive, and so they froze them to be safe. However, on this try, what makes it different, and in the words of the doctor, it's a whole new ball game, is that we have 7 embryos that have over 100 cells in them each, and that is promising. And so we're super optimistic and hopeful about it. We're cautiously optimistic because, you know, at the end of the day, it's a very true possibility that it won't happen. You know, and if that's the case, then we, you know, soldier on, I think. But we'll just take it when we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So that, I think that explains like our emotional side of it. We've been through it so many times that, you know, I really truly say this, you know, not just to say it, that it has been a great trial to be able to be with someone. You know, Pipe and I met when we were 16, and from the moment that I met her, I knew that I wanted to be with her, you know, and so, not just saying that, you know, and so the fact that us having a hard time having a baby doesn't bother me so much. I mean, it bothers her a lot, but it doesn't bother me so much. It really just makes it kind of something that we get to, you know, journey through together, you know, and so to me, one way or another, we're going to have a baby,
And so whether it means we're successful on this try or successful on the next 6 after, if we don't have a baby that way, then we'll definitely have a baby. You know, it just means that there's just that God has something different planned for us. You know, maybe there's adoption, maybe there's fostering. There's a lot of different options out there. And so at the end of the day, Pipe and I's goal is to have a baby. You know, we want to raise a baby, boy or girl, doesn't matter. You know, so long as we get to like enjoy the process of and like, you know, really the adventure of having a child and taking them places that we love to go to and raising them the way that we want to raise our kids. So that is the goal. Okay. So the doctor should be calling any minute now. He said 12. So we'll see. You know, it's 12:05 now. We'll see. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. I'm gonna add on to your scent. I'll make it decent. Decent. Okay. Alright, buddy, take your turn. What you got?
Pies.
Ready?
No.
Hello? Yes, hi. Hey Amy, how's it going? Yeah. That's okay. No, that's alright. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye-bye.
Dunno.
It's enough. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. We'll try again. Okay?